welcome to this reading. I was thinking of doing some tonight, but I don't know. It's very hot, so I figured I better get to this one now, right? Before, I decide to change my mind. So I have this running in the background here. Hang on. You know what? I'm going to let that run and see how it comes across. Hopefully it's not too loud or so loud that you can't hear me. Right? Okay, let's see here. Since it is Sunday, we do have a new moon coming up. I know some of y'all might want to be manifesting some new love, right? So use the Lover's Oracle. We'll do the Romance Angels, and I'll pick one of the three decks. I have three decks staring at me right now. I don't know if anybody, it's so funny, it's like nobody's in the chat right now. So if anybody joins the chat and they have a preference over the decks today, the red, this is the Pulp Tarot. The blue, that's the Grateful Dead Tarot. And this purple and green here is the Ethereal Visions deck. So if anybody does hop on the chat and they have a preference, once I get through the other oracle cards. But until then, it will be a surprise. Okay. So I'm going to start with the Romance Angel. Start off on a good foot, right? Very soon. Religious factors. Your love life is influenced by your religious upbringing and spiritual path. Yeah, a lot of times people think like, oh yeah, I can do anything, blah, blah, and then they realize later that they're incompatible. You know, it's a lifestyle thing, it's whatever, right? So for some of you, collective religious factors may be like a hurdle right now. Okay. That doesn't mean change your standards. That doesn't mean lower your standards. That doesn't mean accept scraps. That doesn't mean, do you know what I'm saying? You know, if you're more traditional and that's what kind of relationship you want, don't change your standards just because it's in vogue right now, or, you know, some magazine says that everybody's doing such and such. Because just because everybody's doing such and such doesn't mean they're happy. You know, ask them people if they're happy. Why are they even writing into all these magazines all the time? Right? Yeah, because something ain't quite right. Yeah. Bingo. Okay. And no, I did not bump my head, but I did, you guys. I like injured myself the other day. You see these little scratch marks up here? That is from one of those like facial, like to help shape your eyebrows and stuff. Yeah, it was that sharp. It cut me. I was bleeding. It was like, you know, when you get cut yourself shaving. I was like, oh my God. So be careful with those, you know, because a lot of people, they'll just, whoop, whoop, whoop. I mean, yeah, you can see. That was like 2 days ago, you know, so... Like, I haven't been putting any makeup on it or anything. I've been putting some aloe on it. try and heal it quickly. Chemistry. There is a strong magnetic attraction here. So, collective, you might have an attraction with somebody that is outside of your normal religious scope, spiritual type of upbringing, okay? But you're finding almost like an opposites attract, like this person, you're very attracted to them, okay? But yeah, you might be questioning because if you are not on the same path, like how is this, you know what I mean? Because it's like almost like you're going in two different directions. You should be heading in the same direction together on the same track, right? So you might be at a crossroads right now with this. We'll find out more in the tarot. Engagement. Your love life is ascending to a higher level of commitments. Okay, so again, whatever this is, it must be a very strong attraction, because for some of you this is going to result in some type of commitment to a partnership. Okay. I can't make it up. Okay, wedding. Yeah, this situation involves marriage. Maybe you believe in the institution of marriage. Maybe you're not a church person, right? So maybe you end up getting married by a justice of the peace, or like in a chapel in Vegas, or blah, 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 because you feel like the actual institution of marriage is important, right? You just might not be doing it, you know, because of certain religious factors. Maybe you were brought up in a church where you kind of liked it, but then it like got weird, and then you're like, no, I can't do this. So you know what I mean? You know, some people have weddings outside and stuff, right? But it's still a formal, you know, getting hitched, right? Yeah, this says, it is safe for you to love, open your heart to give and receive the highest energy of all. So yeah, I feel like this really does involve a happy ending here, collective. So let's get into the Lover's Oracle and see what that has to say. All right. All right, first card from the Lover's Oracle. You are so different from everyone around me. Yes. And that is because of these religious factors, collective. How you were raised and this person was not, or vice versa, right? Where it's like, oh, you guys do this? I've heard about that in movies, right? It was just funny. I got done with the walk with the dog at the park, and you know, I was reminded some of those movies that talk, or like, oh, you know, my significant other's family, they're the type that does a 5K on Thanksgiving morning, right? And you're like, now for some of you, collective, that might be a dream come true, because like maybe you're big into fitness, maybe you're into running specifically. Maybe you like doing community events like that. So for you, it's like an exciting thing. For other people, it might be like, what? Right? Where it might be, you know, incompatible at some point. So, you know, you don't have to be twinsies, right, to like each other. Remember that, right? Because too much of any one thing is too much, right? Message retracted. I will never know. I will never know, Thakor Amrut, what you had to say, right? All right. I have to let you go to find myself. Yeah. So, whoever you've had this chemistry with, collective, this could even be something where, like, you were raised in a certain environment and people expected you to, like, get married to, like, somebody from your church or your faith or whatever. And what you had to do was let go of that entire kind of congregation and folks, right? In order to find yourself and to solidify that, yes, you know, you do feel chemistry with somebody, and maybe it's somebody that, you know, you didn't anticipate before that you would feel chemistry with, especially if they were brought up or raised in a different environment where you're like, that lifestyle is definitely not for me, right? So sometimes, collective, it is that letting go, right? So, you know, obviously that a serious let go could be for somebody, you know, where you're just kind of like, maybe you haven't met the new person yet, but like, because we all know that sometimes, you know, magnetic attraction between two people can just result in physical things and not like the emotional part of it, or the spiritual part of it, or the intellectual, you know, the mental stimulation, right? So collective, you know, you letting that person go so that you can find yourself is exactly what you need to be doing, right? Okay. Life without you is hopeless, dark, and depressing. I miss your light. Okay. So, collective, whoever this person is that feels like outside of you definitely misses you. You were a light to them, a light in the dark. What is the name of that song? Like the 80s. Like a sunlight in the dark. And it's dun 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 dun. Right. Is it Rainbow in the Dark? Maybe. Maybe. Emotions overwhelm me. Okay. So collective, if this person senses that you could be with somebody else and not them, their emotions are going to overwhelm them. Even if they want to express that towards you, their emotions are overwhelming them. It's like they're just having a hard time. Okay. So I don't know if anybody is left in the chat at the moment. I've seen some people jumping in and out, but I am choosing from one of these 3 decks now to pull the tarot. So if I don't see any messages pop up in the chat, I'm just going to go ahead and choose either the red, the blue, or the green and purple deck over here. Okay. So I'll watch the chat for the next moment or so to see if anything comes up. But yeah, there's literally 0 people in the chat right now. So okay. I think I'm going to go ahead and use the Pulp Tarot. This is this very stranger. It's like, I'm not exactly sure, collective, who this person is right here. Maybe the tarot will tell us some more specific to you, right? And your message, okay? And if it's not your message today, don't sweat it. You're like, look, I'm keeping myself. I don't bother with nobody, blah, blah, blah. This ain't about me. Okay, fine. It's not about you. I agree. Right? You know, it's like, have we become so narcissistic as a society? Well, this reading's not about me. Well, of course not. Because there's how many billion people in the world besides us? Okay. Shocker, right? You know, when the police scanner goes off and somebody's saying, well, it's not about me. Well, good. Be grateful. Be grateful they're not coming to your house to drag you out. And hopefully you'll live at the end of it, right? To tell the tale. Huh? Okay. Again, if it ain't about you, be Be happy about that sometimes, right? Sometimes my dad would sit there and just say, I don't have any problems. Do you know what I mean? Like, if somebody thought that, like, if you, like, you know what I mean? Because sometimes guys, you know, they're pretty short in their, you know, and they, you know, so he'd just say, like, I don't have any issues. I don't have any problems right now. I have zero problems. You know, I'm happy right here, kind of thing. All right, now let's see what the tarot has to say about this situation here, because there is some just like, it's like this commitment is coming for you, collective, but it's like, I don't know if it's this person down here, because, you know, they haven't got it together yet. Do you know what I'm saying? Oh my God. Yeah, Two of Cups. This person definitely has feelings for you. I don't know if you have feelings for this person anymore. This is one of these things, collective, where you've gotten back to yourself to the point where you're like, I'm not settling for less. I'm not settling for different than I had pictured. Because every time I did, guess what? Right? And then you're back at square one anyway, right? You know, like Eleanor Roosevelt said, they're going to talk about you anyway. So go and make the difference that you want to make, right? Yeah, you could be this King of Pentacles, saying, that's right, I'm about my business. I'm not about some of this, that, and the other, right? And if these people can't get it together, come to me, then oh well, right? Oh well. Three of Cups. Yeah, you could be celebrating with friends right now, collective. This, I have to let you go to find myself, because you're just like, look, if you can't be hanging out with me, if you got to be this, that, and other, then I might as well just go out and hang with my friends, right? Like, why are we even discussing this at the moment, right? You know, especially collective, if they came at you saying this, right? And then they proved to be different. And it could be because you are different and they don't know how to handle and to be around that. Some of these folks are used to just going from one bed to the next, and it don't really matter whose bed it is. Now, yeah, that could mean you have chemistry, but don't get yourself a STI or an STD in the process, right? Mm-hmm. Because people will lie to you and say, oh yeah, I just got tested, blah. Oh yeah, you know what I mean? Anything less than the big C on the big P, right? They also make female condoms these days, you know, so just saying, you know, and maybe this is something that you can discuss with some friends where you're like, look, it's not that we don't have chemistry, but I need to know how to protect myself, right? And that's the thing, is if this person isn't willing to hold your body in the esteem that you do, then that person's likely not for you, right? You know? It's a form of peer pressure, okay, when it comes down to it. All right. Ooh, yeah, Knight of Wands, and he usually is the one that likes to kind of, you know, comes in with a little hot car and be like, here, come on in, we'll go on a date, right? Right. And the fact is, they do want to come and take you on a date, because life without you is lame, collective, right? You are the excitement. You're the one that they want to be with, but are they respecting you at the same time? So, you know, this is actually kind of reminding me of One of the last times I was down well, driving around town, I won't say exactly where, and there were some guys on motorcycles, you know, they're popping wheelies and stuff. Like, this is a whole car, you know. Uh, but like guy on motorcycles, you know, they had helmets on too, you know, so they were riding, really actually riding safely, quite safely for motorcycle guys, you know. So again, collective, that could be one of these things where you and this person have some chemistry, like you can share some laughs and things like that. But at the same time, you're still protecting yourself. You know, you're saying, look, I have to put my trust into where I'm being guided, and if you can't meet me on that path, then you're just not going to meet me. Sorry about your luck, right? You know. All right. Just get over here. 6 of Cups. Yes, this person definitely wants a reunion with you. It is emotional for them again. So again, collective, this could be somebody that you already know that wants to be with you in this committed type of way. They feel lonely. They feel stuck right now in this 8 of Swords. All right. So I feel like what happened, collective, is perhaps this person did not take the time to love you the right way the first time around, right? And they're feeling all these feelings. They're sensing that something big is coming for you. And since they're not really a part of it right now, I think that's what's coming across in the reading. But the thing is, collective, is you are seeking out the chemistry with those that can chemistrate with you, right? Like, I recently found out somebody I dated is dating somebody else now, and which, you know, somebody I dated, it's like ancient history anyway. But you know, like, it didn't upset me because me and that person, it's like almost like a sibling. Do you know what I'm saying? Like at the age we were and the way that, like, we got along better as friends than as, say, romantic, right, partners. And sometimes that happens, and then, you know, you let that relationship go, and then you go and find yourself, blah, blah, right? And all these things, you know. And sometimes what we're attracted to, collective, is, you know, it's more than just the physical, right? It's the emotional, it's the spiritual, it's all these things put together, right? And collective, we're not letting just anybody and anything come and take our time anymore, like we might have when we were younger. Not saying that those other experiences and relationships weren't valuable, but sometimes they really weren't for our highest good, right? And those are things that we realize over time, right? That's why we get many, many years of life, right? We don't learn everything on day one. We just don't. So, thank you, everybody that has been in the chat today. That really is the reading. Please do like the video if you've been in the chat. I think I already mentioned that. You do not have to be a subscriber in order to like the video, but it does help pass those messages around. And if you are a subscriber, you will be notified, especially if you hit the notification bell of when I go live, which I often do. Okay. I also have, so not under the live tab, but under the videos tab, I have some uploads as well that some of you folks may not have seen, that are more timeless in nature. Okay, so if this reading was resonating with you today, you know, definitely use your discernment with the entire message, as not all of the message may apply to you. But if it is not your message today, don't sweat it. Okay, so until next time, please do manifest wisely. Bye bye.